Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So this looks like it's going to be a wax seal video, but actually it's going to be a jelly printing video. When I was enabled by Dee Dee Willingham to play with my wax seals, she was showing some different techniques on her YouTube channel. And Mary, I tell you, has been doing a lot of wax seals lately. I said, I want to get into it. And then I was reminded when I was doing them that when I had done this elephant, for the Bridget Coopson, one of her challenges. These little sections here, those were actually done using wax seals that I turned into a stamp. So I thought I would do a video just devoted to that aspect of this piece that I did. This is one of my favorite jelly prints. So I don't know what it's going to become yet, but I'm going to make some wax seal stamps for the Gelliplate. This was done with hot glue, not with wax. I feel like wax might be too sharp for the Gelliplate, and the hot glue seems to be quite good. So I'm just going to show you quickly how I made this type of stamp. When I was watching Dee Dee Willingham, she was showing a technique where you punch out circles to be the base for your stamp. So that's what I did here, and I used a 1-inch punch. And I'm just, for the stamps that I'm making, I'm just using a minimal amount of hot glue so that each of the little discs will be an even depth, so that when I put them on the Gelliplate, they'll all imprint together, if that makes sense. And here I'm just showing a close-up, just a little bit of glue, and you don't even need a handle on these little presses. The mat that I'm doing this on is a silicone mat, which is heat-resistant non-stick mat. And after a few minutes, once they're cooled down, you can pull them off and they release quite easily. I suppose technically you could use these seals directly on the Gelliplate, like the brass seal, but I would be afraid of getting paint stuck in there and losing the detail, especially if you tried to like scrape it out. I just think you might wreck your brass imprint thingamajig, I don't know what it's called. So now I'm cutting out some cardboard, which is the other advantage of making a stamp, is that you can have several of the same images that you can use at once. It saves time, it's more efficient. I'm cutting out some fun foam, and I'm just going to use the hot glue to attach each disc to the fun foam. Be careful, hot glue is hot, as you know, so just caution. So I'm attaching these all, and I'm just using a little bit of hot glue, so again they're the same depth, the same level, and just peeling off the third of that image and attaching it. And then I'm going to cut around the fun foam quite close to each seal to minimize excess, which might create an imprint on the Gelliplate. I'm just turning it over, pressing it down so that they're all firmly attached. Here we're cutting nice and close. And now I just have to glue it onto the cardboard. So I'm just cutting the cardboard to size. Again, you don't want a lot of excess that might leave an imprint on the Gelliplate. So I just used the hot glue gun again. You could use Aleene's tacky glue. You could have used that for the other stab. It just takes a bit longer to dry. And again, be careful with that hot glue, pushing it down. I turn it over and press it so that it's nice and flat. And when I turn these little edges over, it makes a nice handle for the stamp. On the next set of 3, I actually use tape to make a handle. So here I have a bee in the middle, and then 2 laurel wreaths, and I have the wreaths pointing towards the bee. And you'll see here I just cut the cardboard close, and I use just some painter's tape to make a little handy handle. And one last stamp, I do a singular heart, and same thing, same process, fun foam, cardboard, and some sort of handle. So it's pretty easy to make these stamps. I had lots of fun. I was just sort of in the wax seal mode, and again, this is with hot glue, not with wax. Here I've got my stamps ready. This one I just did an isolated heart. These I did 3 in a row. This is more vertical, and then this one is more of a horizontal one. This one was nice because it was unidirectional, so I could use it horizontally or vertically. Before I bring out my Gelliplate, I'm just going to mention that I did do a reel on my Instagram where I showed the difference between using the all-purpose glue sticks versus the crystal clear glue sticks. So I did find the crystal clear did make a difference, especially if you're doing paper, like paper behind it that had like a pattern. I thought that turned out really nice. Or even just the black, like here's a bee. I don't have black wax. This is just on black paper. So that was inspired by D.D. Willingham to do these little paper-backed clear wax seals. And yeah, I'm not a wax seal expert, there's lots of videos about that. So let's grab out the Gelliplate and see what this turns into. I have this template I made by cutting out a VW bug from photocopy from internet, and I'm just going to put it on here, and I'm going to take off this washi tape that's holding it, and the Gelliplate should keep it adhered to the surface. And I hope that's fairly centered. I'm just going to turn this over and check. I want more. I want it closer to the bottom. So I'm going to just carefully lift that up. And bring it a bit further down. So I don't have a video on this. I do have a video on the elephant one, how I cut out the elephant from cardstock. So I thought this would be kind of fun. So I'm going to put my paint down, and then I'm going to remove paint using these stamps. And I thought a nice dark color would be good. So I'm going to use this purple. You want a good amount on there so that it won't dry too quickly. I'm going to roll that on. All right. Pretty good. So I'm going to just stamp off. Let's try some trees. Flowers. I'll do the trees again just because the trees are pretty good. It's this one. I'm going to do that one again. There we go. And let's do a couple of the hearts that are just by themselves. Again. Let's do the tree. not a lot of the pickup color to show. I'm leaving the wheels more dark. All right, so let's let that finish drying. Okay, and I'm gonna roll on a combination of this ice blue and green pastel. And I'm just gonna do it sort of a little bit randomly. Very similar color, but they're just a little bit different, so I think it'll make a nice variation. And use my little brayer. Came off a bit there, but the under, I'm going to pick it up with probably metallic white at the end. But let's just take this off, see how it looks. And then we'll let that layer dry before we add a surround. Now, this mask probably won't be usable again because these little edges are so fine, but we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna lie my mask flat down to dry somewhere. So I'm gonna make some road with black. So I just want to strip and then use the fun foam to make a texture in it. I'm gonna try not to go over the car. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm just gonna use this fun foam. Now this paint is dry, so it shouldn't pick up anything. All right, so that's good. And what next? What else shall we do? So having a hard time deciding, so I'm gonna just go for it. I'm gonna use this very light pink, rose pink, and this gear stamp from PM Artist Studios. And I use my 5x7 Gelliplate to load up the stamp. Load it with the brayer a bit. Well, these kind of remind me of like a cloud shape. So I'm just going to put them up in the sky. And then I always wipe off foam stamps. I wipe them off right away with baby wipe. And then I'll wrap it in the baby wipe, and as soon as I'm done jelly printing, I'll go to the sink and I'll wash that with soap and water. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then we'll add some more colors and fun stuff to it. So similar to how I did the elephant painting, I'm gonna use pan pastels to fill in some areas. And if you don't have pan pastels, you can use makeup, and I'll use a bit of makeup on this too. So I just wanted to use some fun orange with the pink clouds. Some orange on the bottom. And let's do some pink on the tops. if you're not familiar with pan pastels, I did 2022 New Year's Eve, no, 2021, so early 2022. I do have a video of using pan pastels on the Gelliplate. If you want to check that out, I can link it below. And I'm just going to add. So when I think of Volkswagen Bug, I think of bright colors and cheery times. And let's use just a really, like a darker pink, just on the bottom. And remember, the Gelliplate, whatever you put down first will be what's on top. That will be showing the most. And I'm planning to pick this up with a white metallic, just to keep all the colors really vibrant. All right, I'll just show you with the makeup. So this is just makeup from the dollar store, and the makeup isn't quite as vibrant as pan pastel, but I'm just gonna put some on the road here. And all this paint is dry. You wouldn't want to put this on wet paint. Let's put a little bit of blue, so I got green and blue. And I think I'll just fill in the sky with some blue. Do I want to use a stencil? No, I think I want to keep it pretty pretty simple, because the car is going to be very busy. So I'm just showing you again how you can use makeup. I'm going to add some pan pastel blue as well, just because it's kind of easier to get the coverage. So I'm just layering this as like sort of an extra. We'll just do that. And then let's use a light blue. And pan pastel, you can just wipe it on a napkin to clean off your spongy. These are special sponges for pan pastel. They're called soft tools, S-O-F-T-T, or is it S-O-F-F-T? I think it's S-O-F-T-T. All right, so I'm just going to use some bright blue and just fill in the rest, and then we'll pick it up and we'll see what we got. And if the bright blue, if there's some gaps in it, that's okay, because the metallic white will fill it in, give it extra brightness. So this is kind of my version of pop art ode to the 70s. The first car I learned how to drive a standard or manual transmission was a Volkswagen Bug that my brother had. And his girlfriend, who's now his wife at the time, she was his girlfriend, she showed me how to drive it. She was very patient with me. Only took a few times. So I'm trying to get nice and close to the Bug so that we have a nice delineation of where the car is. So my Gelliplate is kind of yellowy, so it might look more like a green, but I'm hoping it's going to look like a happy blue with some white peeking through. And this is all dry. Pan Pastel is a dry medium, so you don't have to wait for it to dry. Actually, I'm going to put some darker blue above the wheel wells, and then we'll do the pickup in this metallic white. So I just want it to look like that is recessed, like I don't want a bright white. Again, this is just the makeup from the dollar store. Let's put a little bit like right under the card too. I don't know if it's going to show through, but look like a little shadow under the car. All right. Enough fiddling. Let's pick that up. I just gotta pick my paper. This is a linen finish. It's sort of marble, but the marble won't show because we're gonna pick it up with this white. All right, let's go for it. So I want to make sure I have enough paint on there because this might be my only chance to get it right. It's like a mono print for a reason. So I've got lots of white on there. We're just gonna spread it. Nice and even. Put your paper down. Give it a good rub. There's my lid. Especially the corners. Okay, we'll let that sit for a bit and then we'll pull it. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes, and this is a moment of truth. Let's pull this up and see how it looks. I like it so far. A little bit there. I would like to. There's a little bit of a wrinkle. My hands have some Pan Pastel, and then I should wipe my hands better. So there we have our print. I think it's kind of fun. You can see the makeup from the dollar store did great. It did fine. You can see the details there from it. The Pan Pastel, like I said, super pigmented. These are fun little pink clouds. You can see the details from the wax seals. Some of the paint didn't come off. I probably could have left it a little longer, but I don't mind it being a little bit distressed. I should add that the Pan Pastel is fairly sealed. Like if I push on it, it doesn't really come up, but you can spray a sealer on there if you want to. See that? It doesn't really come off on my finger. I don't know about the makeup. I think the makeup's sealed on there too. And you can see there's still some pigment left on the Pan Pastel. You could do another ghost print for that, or you can just use baby oil or some sort of mineral oil. You just clean it off. So I'll just show you how that comes off. See that? It comes off pretty quickly, pretty easily. There you go. Thanks for watching. Bye.